Welcome, YouTube. I am Jack Neary. Our topic this week that we're going to be covering is Garrett out in Dallas for Belichick? Maybe? Is it a possibility? I read this article this past week that Jerry Jones was doing a local radio show in Dallas. I believe it was 103.5 The Fan. And here's a direct quote from the conversation he had with the radio talk show host. Okay, what he said was, I was returning skis, for my grandkids, and there was a line, and I was sitting in the back, and someone bumps up against me a few times, and I turn around, and there was this guy, and I couldn't make him out because he had ski stuff, but it was Bill, and the Bill he was talking about was Bill Belichick. Jones said Belichick told him, hey, I can coach, and if I ever get an opportunity, don't forget about me. That was after Belichick lost the Cleveland job and before he landed another job. He just wanted to throw it out there. Hey, listen, I know that you guys look for talent. I'm talented, and I just want to let you know that I can do the job. Cleveland made a mistake. Belichick, at his Wednesday press conference, in his very Belichickian way, said, Jerry and the Joneses have always been great to me. I've always had a great relationship with them. He just left it at that. He didn't confirm, nor did he deny it. But it's very interesting that Jerry Jones wouldn't, upon playing the Patriots this weekend, Dallas, that on the radio show, he wouldn't talk up Dak Prescott or talk up the offensive line or how great a job Jason Garrett's doing, or even that they lead the division. None of that stuff. Nothing. Jerry went on to say, very frankly, that I've thought about that many times. You never know where you can find a great coach. You can find them in the ski checkout line stations. That's what he said. Right? Sometimes that's where you find them. Right. Life can be funny. It was one of those quips. Why would Jerry Jones still keep bringing that up in the conversation to this said radio host? I'm sure the radio host didn't ask that. Now, I didn't get that part of the conversation, but that probably wasn't first in line. Hey, did you ever get a chance to get Coach Belichick? I don't think that was first on the menu at all. In fact, it was probably not even a thought of the radio host. I didn't know it. I'm not sure if you even knew it. But apparently, in the mid-90s, this was a possibility. And, it was a very innocent, very, frank conversation. But he brought that up for a reason. Because he's been thinking. He's been thinking, hey, Minnesota walked into Dallas and beat us. We went to Detroit last week. We should have handled them. We didn't. And now we have New England, who we're 6-point dogs to. Jerry Jones doesn't believe that the Dallas Cowboys can beat the New England Patriots. He doesn't. I mean, nobody really does. You'd put your mortgage, if you found a bet slip tomorrow, you'd put your mortgage on New England -6. But Jerry Jones does believe one thing. If you look at these teams on paper, he does believe that Dallas matches up. He's got a good quarterback. He's got a good running back. His offensive line's been good for years. That defense has quietly gotten better. Why are we not running away with the division? The Giants are bad. The Redskins are bad. The Eagles are 5-5. And I just think he's been thinking that, boy, if we could beat the Patriots this week, we can go to 7-4. Right, we get a much needed win. And the Eagles lose to Seattle. They go to 5-6. But he doesn't believe that they're going to do that. He doesn't believe Dallas is going to win. He wanted to go on that radio show, and he wanted to talk about an opportunity that he missed with a coach. Because facts are facts. And he's been thinking about the coach. He's been thinking, man, if I had Belichick here with this amount of talent, you know how good we'd be? That's what he's been thinking. He's been thinking about a coaching change. I think Garrett's out in Dallas. I think Garrett's absolutely out. Listen, he's been given time. His record's 59-48. That's not impressive. 2-3 in the playoffs. That's a losing record. Like real Dallas fans, blame him all the time. The play calling, the 2 runs in a row down in the red zone. What were you thinking? Jerry's been thinking, and he's got plenty of time. And had Dallas beaten Minnesota at home and then Detroit, it would have been no problem. But when you look at Minnesota and Dallas on paper as well, you sit there and you go, Dallas at home should handle them. And they didn't. They didn't again. They didn't do it at all. And Detroit was playing on a guy that should still be in college. Their quarterback should still be in college. He's not very good. The team's all banged up. And that game ended up close. Why? How? I've got all this talent. What have you done? Cowboys fans would, maybe a year or two ago, Cowboys fans would have sat there and they would have gone, I think it's too early. You can't move on from him. Give him a little bit more time. Romo's banged up. There was always an excuse for Garrett. But there isn't anymore. Cowboys fans are sick of him. He's been given enough time. He's had 3 seasons where he's won double-digit games in his, I believe, 8 or 9 years. It's done. The experiment's over. But how do we get Garrett? How do we get Belichick? Right? How do we right a possible mistake? Well, this is it. What if, and no one knows this, I've dug as deep as I possibly can, but what if Belichick's contract is year to year? What if it is? And after this season, Garrett gets fired because they'll let him play out the season. They'll probably make the playoffs. Garrett's gone after this year, though. Belichick no longer has to protect an old Tom Brady, which he's growing tired of. Right? Nor does he have to deal with Robert Kraft meddling with the team, trying to get certain players in there, meddling with the lineup. That what has severed the Patriots was the Garoppolo, Brady, Kraft, Belichick thing. It's really drawn sides. But if Belichick doesn't want to re-sign with them, then he doesn't have to deal with Kraft anymore. He finally gets that opportunity that he asked for in the 90s at a ski lodge checkout, and he becomes the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He'll go from Cleveland, leaving them in the streets, to having to prove himself in New England, to going down to Dallas and coaching America's team. He gets a good defense. He gets a good linebacker in Sean Lee. Right? He likes linebackers. Linebackers run your defense. They get everybody lined up correctly. He gets a good quarterback in Dak Prescott. Not the most mobile, not the most heralded, but he's not a first-round pick either. And he handles the media well. He almost gets a younger version of Brady. Doesn't have to coddle him, and he can move the offense. And by the way, Dak doesn't turn the ball over. He gets an excellent running back. He gets all those things. Maybe he doesn't sign the 1 year. Maybe Jones makes a phone call. Brady's house is up anyway on the market. Right? Maybe Brady skips town. Maybe he retires. But I definitely think Jason Garrett's done in Dallas. Jerry Jones has been thinking. And he's been thinking about that checkout line and Bill Belichick and what it would take to get him back. He brought it up on the radio show. Not me. It would be a shocker, but it's not impossible. Just think about that. We'll see you guys again.